Here are the most recent deaths in the national news as reported at Legacy.com in the third week of September 2025. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any local community in America and beyond. Scientist David Baltimore died September 6, 2025 at his home in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. He died of complications from several cancers at the age of 87. He was just 37 years old when he won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his discoveries in tumor viruses, which led to breakthroughs in immunology and virology. Baltimore is also being remembered for his years as a professor at MIT and the California Institute of Technology. He was also the former president of Caltech. Boxer Ricky Hatton died in September 2025 at the age of 46. He was a world champion in both the welterweight and light welterweight divisions. Hatton is being remembered as the Hitman, a hugely popular and beloved boxer in his native England. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Anthropologist Jeffrey Meldrum died in September 2025 after fighting brain cancer at the age of 67. He was a prominent researcher into the question of Bigfoot, tracking down alleged Sasquatch sightings and writing several books on the subject. Meldrum is being remembered for applying careful scientific principles to a topic that's often considered mythical. Songwriter Bobby Hart died September 11, 2025 at his home in Los Angeles. He died of complications from a long illness at the age of 86. With his songwriting partner Tommy Boyce, he wrote hits for the Monkees, including Last Train to Clarksville and I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, as well as the theme song to the Monkees TV show. Hart is also being remembered as a singer in the duo Boyce and Hart. They had a top 10 hit in 1968 with I Wonder What She's Doing Tonight. Actor and filmmaker Robert Redford died September 16, 2025 at his home in Utah at the age of 89. He was a charming and beloved leading man in many iconic movies, including Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, All the President's Men, The Natural, and Out of Africa. Redford is also being remembered for directing such movies as Ordinary People and The Horse Whisperer, for founding the Sundance Film Festival, and for his advocacy for environmental causes. Hockey player Eddie Giacomin died September 14, 2025 at his home in Birmingham, Michigan. He died of natural causes at the age of 86. He was a goaltender for the New York Rangers in the 1960s and 70s, becoming one of the team's greats before ending his career with the Detroit Red Wings. Giacomin is being remembered as a Hockey Hall of Famer whose jersey number 1 was only the second ever retired by the Rangers. Actress Patricia Crowley died September 14, 2025 in Los Angeles. She died of natural causes at the age of 91. She was known for her work on soap operas, including recurring roles on Generations, Port Charles, and Dynasty, as well as appearances on Falcon Crest and General Hospital. Crowley is also being remembered as a classic TV mom for her starring role in the small-screen adaptation of Please Don't Eat the Daisies. Singer Tomas "Tompa" Lindberg died September 16, 2025, of complications from treatment of adenoid cystic carcinoma, a cancer of the mouth, at the age of 52. He was the lead singer for At the Gates, the Swedish death metal band known for music like their groundbreaking 1995 album Slaughter of the Soul. Lindberg is being remembered as a foundational influence on the genre, thanks to the melodic death metal he created with At the Gates. Journalist Marilyn Hagerty died September 16, 2025, at a hospital in Grand Forks, North Dakota. She died of complications from a stroke at the age of 99. She was a columnist for the Grand Forks Herald, and she found viral fame in 2012 when her earnest, positive review of the local Olive Garden was shared widely around the globe and led to national media interviews. Hagerty is being remembered for turning her moment of viral fame into longer-lasting success, appearing as a guest judge on Top Chef Seattle and collaborating with Anthony Bourdain on a book of her restaurant reviews. Actress Paula Shaw died September 10, 2025, in Vancouver, British Columbia. She died in her sleep after a long illness at the age of 84. She was known for her grandmotherly roles in Hallmark Channel movies like 5-Star Christmas, Hitched for the Holidays, and Picture a Perfect Christmas. Shaw is also being remembered by horror movie fans for taking over the role of Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, in Freddy vs. Jason. There are still a few more celebrity tributes, but first let me just say that some of the most remarkable obituaries we saw this week at Legacy weren't for celebrities, but for everyday people like you and me. Those include this beloved Louisiana mother and grandmother who nurtured her family all through her husband's 20-year Air Force career. This Midwestern orthodontist who brought literal smiles to people's faces and was a World War II veteran who escaped from behind enemy lines. And this devoted nurse from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida, whose daughter wrote her a beautiful obituary including the line, "We won the parent lottery." At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 10 years ago this week, baseball player, manager, and coach Yogi Berra died at the age of 90. Widely considered one of baseball's all-time best catchers, he won 10 World Series with the New York Yankees in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. 15 years ago this week, singer and actor Eddie Fisher died at the age of 82. He had hit songs like I'm Walking Behind You and I Need You Now, starred in The Eddie Fisher Show, and was the father of actress Carrie Fisher. 15 years ago this week, actress Gloria Stewart died at the age of 100. A Hollywood ingenue of the 1930s, she became the oldest person ever nominated for an Academy Award when she received a nod for her performance in Titanic. 20 years ago this week, actor Don Adams died at the age of 82. He won 3 Emmy Awards as the star of the sitcom Get Smart, and he was the voice of animated characters like Tennessee Tuxedo and Inspector Gadget. Singer and songwriter Marty Robbins was born 100 years ago this week. He died in December 1982 at the age of 57. His many #1 country music hits included El Paso, Singing the Blues, and A White Sport Coat. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in South Dakota have been lowered to honor the memory of former state legislator Karen Soley. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of former U.S. Representative Mary Rose Oker. Flags in Illinois have been lowered to honor the memory of former Governor Jim Edgar. Flags in Alaska have been lowered to honor the memory of former Senator Judy Sallow. Flags in Indiana have been lowered to honor the memory of Lucas Gelhausen, a volunteer firefighter with the Celestine Volunteer Fire Department who died in the line of duty. Flags in Indiana have also been lowered to honor the memory of former state senator, representative, and mayor of Knox, Nancy Dembowski. Flags in Massachusetts have been lowered in observance of National POW MIA Recognition Day and in honor of United States service members who are prisoners of war or missing in action. Flags in Arizona have been lowered to honor the memory of Timber Mesa Fire and Medical District firefighters Brenna Kulikowski and Damon Thompson, both of whom died in the line of duty. Flags in Pennsylvania have been lowered to honor the memory of the 3 officers killed in the line of duty during the tragic shooting in North Codorus Township, York County. Flags in Michigan have been lowered to honor the memory of former state senator Bruce Patterson. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.